I know, Eyup, everybody leave me alone. Let's get on with it. EFL review for this weekend's games in the Championship and League One. First up, West Brom and Leicester. Unfortunately, I did not do a watch on for this because something came up, but I did still watch the game. I'm not going to lie, I was quite let down by the lack of quality in some of these games that have got the top teams in. I really think, I know we're only 7 games in, so it's just teething problems. I do think with a lot of the sides that have got best players in this division, which we are looking at 2 of them here. I do think when we're sat here in May, we are going to be looking at 2 of your better sides in this league. But I'm so disappointed with the lack of serious quality and good football with a lot of top sides in this league. Obviously, a very nice goal from Milling Jr. That has got to be said. Really well taken. He picked it up from 8th way line, didn't he, and carried it forward really nice. He's a good player, showing glimpses of what he can do. Because again, we only saw glimpses of that at Middlesbrough really when we were on loan last season. That's quite unlucky, to be fair. The own goal from Phillips, it was quite late on as well, weren't it? Yeah, 93rd minute. He's just trying to clear his lines, isn't he? Just unlucky. But Madger came off bench. Now, I've been questioning this as well with Mason, because it is his first job, and surely you're not a Russell Martin yet. You've got to at least have some sort of credit in bank before you can start saying, well, I'm playing this way and only this way, and if you can't sit my system, do one when it's your first job. But Madger again on the bench, someone who was top goal scorer for West Brom last season by some margin, and one of top goal scorers in division full stop. He come on, missed a sitter from probably 3 yards, absolutely skied it, and then we're probably at fault for goal. I don't actually know if it's his man or not, but he's definitely in that sort of clump, and he's just not tracking anybody. I know he's a striker doing defensive duty, but you're still a human, and you've got some sort of awareness about you, surely. There's a fella free at back stick in your sort of area. You've got to pick him up. I think Leicester have done quite well to nick a point that late on as well, because I did think West Brom were going to see it out with our game. We're panning out, really. But after that, Leicester are still 5th. They've only got 1 loss so far this season. West Brom are sat in 8th right now. Obviously, we'll come and look at our table at end when we've talked about all Championship games. But a 1-1 between West Brom and Leicester. I think I got that bob on. Or did I go Leicester win, actually? I think I went Leicester win, never mind. But point still stands. I expect more from teams and players at this standard. For West Brom and Leicester, 2 sides that I think will be right up there, I expect more than what I'm seeing right now. Cov 3, Brum 0. Now, Jack Robinson got a red card. He's absolutely shit, by the way. He's onking. How he's lasted so long at well, we were at Sheffield United for years in Premier League and everything. Mate, he's crap. He's so rash. I'll tell you what, you can tell that he's come from like a wilder side and all, because he likes to get big and to ref, doesn't he? Especially when you've already been sent off and there's no further punishment that you can get for just mouthing off to ref. Proper big man. I think he's absolutely dog shit, me. Cashin, to be fair, I expect more from Cashin as well, knowing what he is and can be, especially from Derby, like an outstanding centre-back. I do think it's going to be tough for him to wiggle his way in to what would normally be Clara and, where is he? The other fella, the German fella, Phil Newman, but I don't know why he's been on bench. I don't know anymore. So some of these decisions that are flying around at minute, I don't know. This guy is supposed to have been like best player in German 2 or whatever it were, second Bundesliga from last year, and he's dropped him for Jack Robinson. That is, wow. That is some decision, that is. But that being said, this is the game that I watched at 12:30. Man United, Brentford, Oogies and Monkeys. I'm more focused on Coventry, Birmingham, me. And Coventry were miles better side. It is what I expect from Coventry anyway, because I've said a few times now, I think these are going to be cream at crop, me. Frank Lampard, severely underrated. I do think he's getting more out of players that were there previously anyway. And Coventry aren't been bad by any means for a stretch of seasons now. But Thomas and Kitchen, mate, these look better under Lampard than they have done before. Same as Torp, he's performing really well. Obviously, when you've got players like Sakamoto, Thomas Asante, Hadji Wright, Radoni's injured, innit? Or were for this game. But normally, I look at the Coventry side, the personnel in it, especially when they've got Radoni and these other lads in team, and Sheaf, for example, before he went to Wrexham. I don't look at this now and think, bloody hell, that's an outstanding 11, like I probably would have done last year. But 3-0 win against Birmingham. I know they were out with red card, but they were dominating before it anyway. The second division, they're one of only 2 teams who have not lost a game yet. Mate, Coventry are right side, and I do think a lot of it does stem from Lampard. He is such an underrated gaffer. And you know what the thing is, my perspective on this, I think a lot of people clump him in with like Gerrard and Rooney, and you know, managers of the golden generation, and just clump them all as one and think they're all crap. Lampard is a cut above. Gerrard did well at Rangers, but Lampard is a cut above, clearly, any of these type of managers, and I think it's a disservice to how good he actually is to clump him in with them sort of names just because they were playing at the same time. I think it's daft. Lampard is a very good gaffer, and he'll be taking these very far this season, I think. 3-0 to Cov. Swansea and Millwall, absolutely nailed on again. I think, I'll tell you what, Bristol City were my team last season, and I got them bang on most weeks. I can read these fellas like a book now. I just know. I can feel it. Vipotnik, outstanding start. Got to be said. Josh Coburn scores from, again, I think it were I don't know if it was set piece, actually. Obviously, though, very Millwall. Lump it at backstick, big Jake Cooper. They've been playing this same song on repeat for about 7 years. Lump it at backstick, Cooper, Dons, and you just tap it in. It's textbook Millwall. How they don't see this coming, I don't know. I have a feeling, I ain't clicked this yet, I swear on my life, I have not clicked this lineup thing yet. I have a feeling Kramer is once again going to have stood out. Because he just always does. Man at match again. This guy is a freak. When I watched him against Watford on this time last week, last Monday, on Monday Night Football, mate, he was best player on pitch by an absolute mile. Again, it looks like it's been the same thing. He is such a good footballer. And there's been a lot made of losing Tanganga, because Tanganga is obviously a very good centre-back, and I think he's one of the best in this division, full stop. Him going to Sheffield United does not change that for me. And it meant that Kramer was shoved to right-back, even though he is a centre-back, but he can just do a very good job at right-back as well. I think they've upgraded here. Kramer, I think it's easy to look at someone like Millwall, or Charlton maybe, and think their defenders look better than other ones because of the system that they're playing in. But he is so clearly, when you watch this guy, he is so clearly a cut above everybody else on the same pitch as him, no matter who they're playing. He is such a good footballer. His first touch, how he reads a game, is like a midfield. He's got the midfield attributes for someone that can also do the defensive side of things as well. He's such a good footballer. But I don't see any of these really getting in there as of right now, unless something changes with Millwall. Because they're just offering no going forward, really. But they have got Ivanovic injured and some other lads are injured, you know what I mean? But I think it's probably a better point for Millwall, if I'm being honest. Swansea, if they want to push in there, you've got to beat sides like this at home. Who's bothered, really? It's 7 games in. I think they both take it. Now, I know one man that would not take this. And I'm going to go back to it again. I think Parker's in danger, baby. The alarm bells are still there for me. And let's not take the piss here. This goal, outstanding finish from Brereton Diaz. I think he's been shite for years, really, since he left Blackburn. He's just not at the same heights that he did at Blackburn. And since he decided he was Chilean, I think that's what it was. He's not just been Ben Brereton anymore. That fella's dead. He's not been the same guy. Really, really top finish. That is top draw. Lewis O'Brien should not have been up pitch to score that anyway. It's the most blatant red card I've ever seen in my entire life. It comes at him knee-high and scrapes all the way down his leg. I don't know. Little tap on arse from Deadpool after the game. You keep my players and I'll sort you out. And a Derby fan messaged me actually on Twitter and said the defence isn't even that bad. Because obviously I've not seen a full 90 Derby yet. But he said to me, the defence isn't even that bad. The midfield partnership of Adams and Travis is just not working. They've not got a progressive pass in them. So you can't get ball forward as quickly as you'd like to. And I can understand where he's coming from there. But I think it'd have been hard anyway in this game. Even if that is truth, which I'm assuming it is for a Derby fan to say it. But I don't think you're going to get a lot of ball and a lot of control at Wrexham going up against that midfield anyway. Ben Sheaf and Dobson, they're absolute control merchants. They're really good at keeping ball, not losing it that often. Yes, they're like a progressive pass as well. I don't think they're them sort of midfielders that just offer nothing but sideways, backwards passes for 90 minutes. But I think you'd struggle to have a lot of ball or create a lot of chances against this Wrexham side with them midfielders anyway at their place. Lewis O'Brien, Dobson, Sheaf. You're asking for a lot there. They're really good players. But we'll just check where they are in table. Derby still 4th bottom with 6 points. Only Oxford, Wednesday and Sheffield United below them. But all 3 of them are starting to pick more points up more recently as well. 7 games in. There's not a lot to go off yet. But I think Wrexham have got to start being more consistent, mate. And quickly. For the level of play that they've brought in, I expect more. 3-0 to Charlton against Blackburn. What a win. Got to be said. That is a really, really good win. Where is he? Screamer from Sonic Area. I think that were a really good finish for a right back. James B's always had some tech about him anyway. But good finishes across board. I think that, you know what? I think the Sheffield United win last week has really sort of given him some belief. Because they didn't go there. I know Sheffield United were at bottom and they'd not even had a point or a goal since first game. Before this weekend, obviously. But Charlton went there. And I don't care what anybody says. In Wilder's first game for the homecoming for 7th time, everybody had thought that Sheffield United had won that. Everybody. So to go there and win, that is no easy task at all. That is a really impressive win. And the manner in which they did it, they didn't go and scrape a 1-0. They looked better side consistently. They could have scored more. So I think the defensive side of things is sorted anyway because they are just very good at it. They've only conceded 5 goals in 7 games. They've got one of the best defensive records in division so far. In fact, it's the joint best. But now they're starting to show what they can do at other end because they've not done that properly in opening few games, really. But now, 7th place, really good points tally after that many games. And to say that Birmingham and Wrexham come up and spend, I want to say like £50 million combined, and Charlton spent about 10, which is still a lot of money, but they had to change everything because side that got promoted, I weren't looking at that and thinking it was good enough anyway. But to say that they've spent nowhere near as much as the counterparts that come up with them, They've had such a good start, Charlton. These are a serious team. I don't look at that anymore and think there's a lot of leaders in that team, which Ismail definitely needs anyway. But any team, regardless of who manager is, needs your more experienced players. It's been there for a long time. Some of your better players as well. Somebody with armband on has got to have some influence out on pitch. You've got to have managers on pitch, and I don't think that Blackburn have got any really, especially at a side that's going to make it really difficult and scrappy for you like Charlton can do if they want to. But it's a really impressive win again. They're so far away from any danger at minute. 6 points clear after 7 games at bottom 3. That is an outstanding start for Charlton. Ipswich 2, Pompey 1. Philogene, he started. That Sheffield United game has given him a rocket up arse, hasn't it? That's what I expect from this man. And Hurst again, I don't like him to be fair, but he's a decent forward for this league. And then Mal and Pat scored a consolation in 92nd minute. But Ipswich run out, fairly comfortable winners from the bits that I saw. It didn't show a great load of highlights from Portsmouth, but the highlights show it only shows you what it wants you to see anyway, doesn't it really? Keeper comes in for Jacob Greaves. He's on bench. He's injured? Oh, he's injured. Oh, red card. Oh, yeah, of course, from the Blackburn game that didn't even count. He's got a red card still. That makes no sense at all. But that team's starting to look something like... I've not seen enough of this fella yet, because in Sheffield United game, he only come on with like 20 minutes left. I know they'd scored 15 goals in that time, but still, I didn't see a great deal of him. Philogene's outstanding, to be fair, when he wants to be. Smodix is really good. Matusiwa and Kajust, that's a really good. Again, they're not going to give loads of goals, these two fellas, from the bits that I've seen, especially this Matusiwa. I've only seen limited bits of him. Kajust, we all saw him last year in Prem. But they just protect that back four quite well, I think. And it's 2 wins in a row now. Well, it shouldn't be. It should be 2 wins in 3 and a loss to Blackburn, but regardless. 2 wins in a row now for Ipswich. I mean, they still had quite a poor start, haven't they, by their own standards. But with that game in hand, if they go back there and win, they're up in playoffs. And that's despite them not starting that well for what the standards are. But I think we've been anybody's league. I look at someone like Ipswich now and the personnel that they've got. And eventually when it does click for them, which it looks like it's starting to sort of move in that direction, it'll just be win, 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 win. These will just start breezing teams aside with how good they actually are or how good they can be. I thought these would be a bit of an outside shot, but they're not showing the consistency to me yet to be in that sort of conversation. A good win for Ipswich though. Like, these are still my league winners. Nothing is going to change unless Coventry just start nailing teams to the wall as well. But yeah, Ipswich is still my league winners. I think they're a right side. Well, bloody hell. Oxford 0, Sheffield United 1. Wilder. These will be fine now. You know what it is? That's all they needed. 1 win. If they're going to beat Southampton at home next week, they'll go into international break with 2 wins in a row. They'll come out to it like a new side. They're right now, this. And I'm not O'Hare's biggest fan at all. I think he's a bit of a fairy. Just prances about doing that a lot of the time. Headless chicken. Sort of gives me that vibe. But he took that really well. Good first touch. Really, striker's finish, to be fair. Really good goal. Oxford did it post quite late on. And the stats show probably a game that Sheffield United fans don't want to see, really. But that being said, if I'm going to be completely real, and this isn't even a bias thing anymore, because I said it all last season, and it was true for all last season. Sheffield United didn't play attractive football under Wilder. They played winning football. And this is exactly it. They've not come out of this with loads of shots, all ball, and great chances. They took the one serious chance that they had well, and then saw it out. It's just textbook Wilder. And you can't complain. Before this game, in first 6, you've got 1 goal and no points. Who cares? If this had said 7,000 shots to Oxford and 1 to Sheffield, no one cares if they're coming away with 3 points. No one cares. Oxford, I don't know anymore. I really don't know, because it's trying to find 3 teams that are getting, well, 2 teams on Wednesday. I don't care. We'll come to it, but I don't care. 2 teams on Wednesday that are going to get relegated. It's a tough call, and Oxford are down in that mix at minute. Wednesday 1, QPR 1. Decent header, to be fair. That is definitely a penalty as well. I'm not just saying that because it's Wednesday, it just is a pen. Stats, to be fair, fairly even. Oh, please no. Please God no. Just don't. If these somehow do it, I don't think I could take it. There's never been a more nailed on team to get relegated ever in the history of football than these. If they stay up, I give up. To be fair, I do think they're only, well, they're 1 injury away, aren't they, from proper collapsing. I just can't be arsed with how this team's set up. You know what it is? This manager, I do think he's quite good, this Pedersen fella, because you've got a lot of runners in and around Baz. Everything is just filtered for him with this team. And he is a technically good player. I think his decision-making for a lot of his career has been absolutely honking shit. And that is why no real side has ever come and tried buying him ever, despite what Wednesday fans will tell you. I think if he didn't go for Wonder Pass 7 times every game for 10 years on end while he's been at Wednesday, then a real team would have come and bought him and he'd have probably got a smell at Premier League or a decent Championship side. But with the severe lack of quality that Wednesday have got, because there's no... Look at that team, it's shit. There's no quality in this, apart from him. So you've just got to feed it to him, haven't you? Make everybody run around him, just plop him in the middle of the pitch and he can just spray it left and right. That being said, if he does get injured, these will not get a point for the rest of eternity. But it's a really impressive one because I think QPR are a good side. They won 3 games in a row before coming here. They managed to keep Kone quiet as well, which I don't think loads of teams will do. 5.8 rating. Come on, man. I expect more from QPR. I really do. We'll come and look at the table in a minute, but I expect more from QPR. Southampton Middlesbrough. 1-1. It was a stupid-ass goal in 77th minute. I don't know what keeper's doing, really. Armstrong, really good finish. He's a great striker, isn't he, for this level? Not a lot to say, though, really. Again, Southampton, not really that flattering. I just don't think they're playing really good stuff at all. I can't really tell what the game plan is at minute from the bits that I've seen. I can't tell what the style of play even is. It's giving me a little bit of a Russell Martin, where in the majority of games they've got a lot of ball, but they're just not doing a great deal with it. They're defensively very leaky. They've conceded 10 goals in 7 games. It's really not good at all, especially when defensively, I'd say that's the best attribute. But again, I really think they've spent the money poorly, in summer. Fellow's a good addition, but can you make that step up to Premier League if they even get there? I don't know. I really think that Azaz, he's just so greedy for me. And I get that's a number 10's job. But his numbers for Middlesbrough did not justify the amount of times that he gave ball away and the amount of times he could have just slotted somebody in or made a different decision, and he never did. I really don't think that they've spent the money well at all, Southampton, and I think it could bite him in the arse a little bit. But like I said about Coventry, we're only looking at 2 sides that are unbeaten still, and Middlesbrough the other one, still top of division. To be fair, difficult couple fixtures in a row here, you know. Norwich away to go and win. I know Sheffield United are crap, but win there. Draw away at Preston, who've only got 1 loss. That's not bad at all. Beating West Brom and then coming down to Southampton, who've got bucket loads of money and spent shitloads of brass in summer. It's another impressive point for Borough, but I just don't think there's loads to say about this game, so I'm going to move on. Southampton 1, Middlesbrough 1. Same as this, to be fair. Stoke 1, Norwich 1. That was a nice finish, to be fair, from Sorba Thomas. He started quite well, hasn't he? 3 goals, 3 assists in 7 games. I weren't very keen on him, you know. When he were at Huddersfield for this season, everybody were looking at him like some sort of god. Because they got him from Norway, didn't they? Boreham Wood, National League, and he come in and could hack it straight away, quite clearly. But then, I've never seen him and thought, bloody hell, he's a top player. But he's done really well so far for Stoke. It's a good buy, or it's proven to be one. Stoke are still third in league, to be fair. They've only conceded 5 goals. Norwich, I just think some of the sides that have got new managers that's come in this summer, not a lot of them are impressing me. Well, I said not a lot. AFL Championship's got a new manager, so some are doing all right, but a lot of them are just... like this team that Norwich have got, that is a good 11. It is a very good 11. The 14th, they look miles off in terms of the quality required to be near the top. And I think from the highlights or what it showed, Stoke have been quite hard done by here. It looks like they should have come out with a win. 23 shots to 6. It's not enough. I expect more from Norwich. Decent point, though. I don't want to take anything away from them here, Norwich. I just expect more from them. But Stoke are third for a reason. They're a good side. And I think they've been quite unlucky to not come out of this with a win. But Stoke 1, Norwich 1 is the result for that one. And then Watford 2, Hull 1. To be fair, when McBurney scored, I thought history was going to repeat itself. And I'm going to be coming back saying the same thing for 100th time in a row. Such a good striker. He just really is. He's so good. But then, to be fair, Loser's finish were really good as well. And him, you know what? The goals that I've seen from Watford so far have been of high standard. I just don't think they're creating loads from the odd bit that I've seen. Obviously, that's not the true fear. 21 shots to 11, more possession, and miles more expected goals. They definitely did deserve win. I just think after the Millwall game on Monday night, I'm thinking these are absolutely crap. To have not got something out of that Millwall game, because Millwall was shocking on Monday and all, and still won fairly comfortably, I think, despite scoreline only being 1-0. But you've got to pick your points up at home, haven't you? And that is what Watford have done here. It just shows how fast things can go. Hot and cold, though. You know, we're only 7 games in. Last week, I was looking at Hull and thinking, bloody hell, these are not far from being a really good side. And then you're immediately looking at them thinking, relegation battle, it's way too close to call anything yet. I could not tell you if it lied for me who I think is going down apart from Wednesday. I have not got a clue anymore. I still think these two will be sort of in and around it. But if that is the case, really impressive win for Watford to get a 2-1 win above line. But one last check at table before we go and look at League One. Sheffield United get the first points at season and a goal for the first time since opening week. They are now on 3 points and still dead last. Wednesday chipping away though. They're doing really good. 23rd. Oxford still in bottom 3. Derby still 4th bottom. It's same clump of sides that are in and around it at minute still. Blackburn down there now. So are Southampton, to be fair. But moving up the table, Ipswich obviously back-to-back wins because we can't include the Blackburn one. So they're up to 12th with game in hand. They will start putting teams to sword quite quickly. I think they'll move up table quickly. But Charlton are up in 7th. Really good start for them. Preston's still in mix and all in 6th after a 0-0 draw with Bristol City, which obviously I'm not interested in talking about. But out of the current top 10, only 2 sides won at weekend, which one of them is Charlton. But Coventry in 2nd place. Only them and Middlesbrough have not lost a game yet. Coventry up into 2nd now with 13 points. Really, really good team and a serious threat to promotion this side. I do think they are one of the best teams in this league, full stop. But Middlesbrough, 4 points clear. Really impressive start from them as well. Oh, for God's sake. Pop and Crisp League. Wimbledon 2, Wickham 1. Just fantastic team. They honestly are at this point. They are 6th in the table. Let's just go and look at it now. The 6th. What we doing? Wimbledon are a great team. 4 wins up bounce in all comps. 3 in a row in league. Yes, it's a both teams have scored bonanza in it, like 3-2-1s in a row. But that speaks volumes to how good they actually are as a team, to be able to see games out like that consistently. And against a Wickham team that's got Michael Duff as manager now, who I expect a lot more of than what they've shown so far, it's such a good win for Wimbledon, that is. Obviously, stats aren't the most flattering thing ever. They've had 2 shots on target, they've both gone in, only 30% at ball. But that's the only stat that matters, baby. Let's move on. Leighton Orient 2, Stevenage 3. I need a Leighton Orient or draw for $500, baby, and they'll let me down. Connolly, good finish. Harvey White, even better finish. It's just exactly what you'd expect. Really good on set pieces, Stevenage are. They're just such a good team at this point. Ballard scored. He's had quite a good start since he's gone there. Stats-wise, loads at ball, not done a great deal with it. More shots on target, more big chances, more everything. Stevenage did look like they deserved to win from the bits that I've seen. And they are 2nd with a game in hand after 9 games. We have got to stop looking at these as a side that's just inevitably going to fall off because they're only Stevenage. Top side. Really good team. And just when I look down the league itself, there's no outstanding quality to me from a big name. There is nobody that I look at and think, bloody hell, yeah, they're a proper side. And I know a lot of the teams in top, say, 8, for example, with the game in hand aspect, or top 10 if you look down to Luton, the points per game is not bad at all so far. But my God, there is not a lot of really good sides in this league. I do think it's anyone's game. And for somebody like a Stevenage or a Lincoln or a Wimbledon or Bradford, any of these sides that you want to look at that seriously at start of season, this could be a really big chance for somebody like them to get out of here. Oh, for God's sake. Right. It'd be way too easy for me to come in here and say, Barnsley are crap, and that's the reason that Port Vale have won. Because that is such a disservice to how good these are. I said a couple of weeks ago, I think it was after this Leighton Orient game, because I thought they were unlucky, and I didn't look at the fixtures at the time, knowing that we were coming up. I was looking at it and thinking, these are definitely going to win a few games in a row with how good they're playing. I didn't want to admit that Barnsley were going to be in that. I thought, oh yeah, they'll win a few, lose to us, and then carry on winning. This does not surprise me at all that in the last 3 games in league, they've won all 3 of them. These are a serious outfit. Stats-wise, we were shit. Like, we were honking ass. We wouldn't have scored if we were playing till now. But defensively, mate, he had nothing to do. I don't know why he's got 6.4 because he didn't even touch ball. But defensively, they're coming set up in a back 5 or a back 10 for the most part. They didn't even get out of their own box for a lot of game unless it were to go and score at our end. But we just could not break them down at all. This number 6, I thought, was best player on pitch by a mile. I thought he was really good. Lawrence Gabriel, outstanding. But defensively, they were just really good. Cole had a good game, to be fair, but this Brown guy was really, really good. Oh, God, that sounded mental. I'm leaving it in. You know what I mean. I really hope that Urin is not one of these that won't deviate from his plan. Because we've got 69%. We've got 69% possession. We had loads of possession against Blackpool. We're passing it around 100 million times a game, but we won't shoot from edge at box. You are not going to break this Port Vale side down. It was clear after 30th minute that we're just not going to break them open. Especially when we've got, like, so many of the same player on pitch with Dunn and McGoldrick. There is nobody who can stretch that pitch at all. There is nobody who can run at a man until they took Dunn off for clear it in 67th minute. That was the only time we started to look like, okay, we could maybe actually break these open a little bit down this side. But we continuously got to edge of the box and then look like absolute idiots. We should have just did it. But I feel like we're sticking to this plan a little bit too strictly at the minute, which definitely works against better sides that are going to come and have a go at you. Bolton, Huddersfield, Plymouth away first game. The better teams we've done really well against. But someone like Port Vale, this calibre of side, and these will be mid-table easily, they'll be nowhere near danger. But the type of team that are going to come and sit in a low block against you, we've got to have a different plan on how to break that open. We've got players like Phillips and Connell and McGoldrick and Dunn who can just hit it, or Vickers. Any of these lads could just hit it from edge of box and it flies into top bins. But we're not doing it. It's in 3 games now. I know one's Brighton in Cup. But in 3 games, we've had 1 shot on target. Not enough. We need to be creating a little bit more for me. But again, I don't want to take anything away from Port Vale and to just make it a Barnsley a crap thing. Because we're not. We've had a bad game. Everybody has bad games. Port Vale are a serious team. They are a really good side. And I want to look at the fixtures. Northampton, Wimbledon, Wigan into Stockport. Mate, these could start flying. Really good side. Really impressive win. Barnsley 0, Port Vale 2. Lads, it happens. We're still going up. Shut up. Bradford 1, Blackpool 0. I'm quite surprised with this as well. That's a really good finish from a right back. He's never been a right back, is he? He's like Beckham. He's like a right mid. I'm surprised they managed to break him open. To be fair, we out Blackpool were against... Well, I'm not actually, because we did it for the first half and then just turned to potty mouth in second one. But I think Bruce is really looking over his shoulder now. They're still in bottom 4. They've been crap all season, really. They were crap against us for the most part. But fairly even chances. 1 big chance all game. I don't even think that would have been it, really. It didn't strike me as a big chance, that. I think he worked it well for goal. When you look in, it's in it. Bradford are top of league for a reason. They've only lost once. They're a rate side. Right, now I'm starting to worry for these. Burton 0, Plymouth 4. Now, I thought Plymouth would win because they're really starting to show something in recent weeks when you look at 5 wins in the last 6 in all comps. And a lot of goals and all, by the way. They're clearly starting to be something and show something. 3.5 expected goals away is mental. They're just looking more complete as it goes on. And to be fair... I don't know why nobody's addressed this, myself included. But they've sold everybody, effectively, from last season, Plymouth have. Brought a new manager in. Not brought enough quality in for the amount of money that they've actually brought in. They're going to have a poor start, aren't they, really, when you look at it like that? And especially with some of the fixtures that they had early doers. They weren't easy ones at all. I just think game by game, these are going to get better and show a lot more. Do I think top 6? Maybe, maybe not. They are 6 points off at minute, but again, with 10 games in, you've still got a long time to catch up. But yeah, Burton I am starting to worry for quite a bit. To get slapped about 4-0 in your own back garden is not good going. They are bottom at league. I know they've got less games than everybody, with 5 points. Only 1 draw and all, or 1 point in the last 5 games. Conceding a lot of goals now, scoring niche. I am worrying for him a little bit, Burton. And I didn't see this one either, to be fair. Exeter 0, Huddersfield 1. They have lost a lot of games in a row. But I don't sit here and think that they really deserve that. The goal was an absolute screamer from this fella. Really good goal from Huddersfield. And to be fair, I don't think these stats paint a proper picture anyway from the highlights that I've seen. Again, it's 2 minutes worth of highlights, not 90. So that's all I've got to go off. But Exeter looked like they were playing some decent stuff in that game. And 1 shot on target from 22 just shows Huddersfield's game at minute, really. They're so wasteful in front of goal. And the fact that it took an absolute screamer, that's a rate pearl, that. For that to be goal at Winget game, I think does just speak volumes to what Huddersfield have been like at minute. This is the only stat that matters, again, as always. 1-0 to Huddersfield. The 5th, and I still sit here thinking they've not played that good. They're averaging 1.9 points a game. So they're on for, what, 88 points, something along that lines, without even playing good. That's the strength of this side and this club. These are obviously a threat to promotion. Obviously. For anybody that's looking at it, we're going to be sat here, regardless of what stage of season, saying that Huddersfield is still in it mix. They're always going to be in it from now till end. Regardless of how crap they play or how good they play, they're always going to be in this conversation all the way up until playoffs start. But Exeter, last season I was very harsh on them because even though they stayed up and they pulled away from it quite well in end, they were crap for the most part. This season, I think it's going other way. I don't think they're actually that bad a side. I think they've played well in a few of the bits that I've seen of them. But they're just not getting look at draw. Similar to, they were like last season's now Northampton. They were being dragged into it all season and they played half decent sometimes. But Exeter just not getting look at draw at minute. And there started to be a bit of a cut-off and all with some of these teams, like Leighton Orient upwards. You could be looking at this, really, as a proper battle down at bottom. But it's a good win for Huddersfield. I think there's a psychological aspect in all of going to Exeter and Plymouth away. Sides that are absolutely donkers away. I think you want to get them out at early doers. And, you know, midweek as late in season, I just think a lot of sides will go here and drop points. For God's sake, Barnsley got extra away midweek in December. Luton 1, Donny 0. I said 2-0 for this. I've been absolutely scammed by Naki Wells. It only ended up being 1-0. But my main point in my prediction video was Luton's team is just miles better than Donny's, which it is, personnel-wise. But I think they've come and had a good go there. They have lost 3 in a row now, Donny. Well, 4 in a row in all comps. 3 in league because Tottenham away. Come on. But they've not exactly been sliding away from it. You know what I mean? They're still in 9th. They've had a really good start. You just expect someone like Luton with a team to just go and hammer these. And I think they're due one of them. I think they need one, really. I think they need to go and hammer somebody at home to get fans a bit of a lift. Because everybody's looking at them same way now. And Luton fans have been saying this to me since start of season, to be fair. And I weren't listening to them because I didn't believe them. But I do now. they're just not playing that well. Or you expect to see them play better for the team that they've actually got and what Bloomfield is as a manager and how good we know he can be based on Wickham last season. But it is a good win because Donny are not a bad side at all. But 3 losses in a row, I do think they will sort of find the natural place in this league. I don't think they are going to be in this sort of conversation up here by the time it's said and done. Luton definitely will be, regardless of how they're playing. Same as Huddersfield, you know what I mean? They're on 9 games. If they win the game in hand, they're on 18 points. And again, we're looking at them thinking, these are playing crap for what we actually expect of him. But it won't surprise me at all if someone like an Huddersfield or a Luton just sort of traipses by all year, not really playing that well, and gets promoted. But any win's good, regardless of what scoreline is. Luton 1, Donny 0. Mansfield 2, Rotherham 1. Least surprising thing I've ever seen in my entire life. Rotherham were actually winning for a penalty from Jordan Hugel. But once again, 1.4 expected goals. Probably 0.8 of that is from a penalty. So they created niche on back of that, as always. And then a 62nd and a 90th minute winner. Rotherham are absolutely honking dog shit. I'm not surprised at all. They probably, to be fair, I've not watched the game, but they probably tried sitting back from, what were it, 9th minute again? Wouldn't surprise me if they had us penned in their own box for 85 minutes with Hampshire. We're now looking at 6 losses in 7 games in all comps. These are getting relegated. If they do not sack Hampshire and quickly, the 4th bottom, yes, they've got a game in hand, I guess you could say, but so have Blackpool and Burton have got 2. These are crap. Rotherham are absolutely crap. They'll be nowhere near any... They'll not even be near mid-table. I'm that confident now. I said it before the season started that these are... You've got to look at these properly for a relegation side. And I stand by it. They're absolutely screaming for Nombe. Absolutely begging on the knees for this fella to come back. Because without him, they are hopeless. Show me these fixtures. Bradford, probably a loss. Northampton away, probably a loss. Leicester Norwich, I could see them losing. They've lost 15 times in a row at Barnsley. Burton for a 6-pointer. Is that next time we're going to see him actually do anything ever? Rotherham, they are crap. They're in danger. Sorry, Mansfield fans, by the way. I was just going to skip over you then. Nice win, because you've needed it. You've been crap for a bit, but that just shows how shit these are. Nice. Northampton 2, Bolton 0. Fair enough, man. Honestly, fair enough. 5 wins in 6 games. These are a super team. In fact, I'm just going to run my agenda up really quickly. Because I was wrong, quite clearly. I didn't think that Mason Burstow were going to be a man that scored the required goals from a number 9 for Bolton. And he started really good. But then he went through 1-on-1. The keeper's shown him 6 foot of goal to aim at, and he's put it wide. I think I could have scored that, and I've got 1 leg. Cozy Dubry getting penalty away. Could never be my Brighton winger. McGeehan scores again. Outstanding footballer. Hoskins, yes, he missed the penalty, didn't he? But he scored rebound, so who cares? Stats-wise, same as always. Classic Bolton. Dominate entire game, don't win. Absolutely textbook Bolton. They've got 10 games under the belt now, and 3 wins. And every single game looks like this. There is, I swear down, if Bolton fans are looking at the manager, you're lost. You're absolutely lost. Because this is exactly how it looked under Plymouth, and he got 100 points in front of probably best League One side ever in Ipswich. Stick with your manager. He cannot run on the pitch, personally, and put ball in net. He did not run through 1-on-1 for a tap-in like Burstow did and missed. He did not concede 3 shots on his goal all game and let 2 of them in. He did not get penalty away. He's a fantastic manager. Your players are not pulling up their end at bargain at the minute. They're creating a lot of chances. I've always stood by that. I think defensively these are quite wishy-washy anyway, Bolton. But going forward, despite Northampton being a good defensive side, there is no excuse for having 19 shots and no goals. Absolutely no excuse at all. But a really, really good win for Northampton. They're putting some distance now. 6 points difference now with a game in bank. They're looking really nice, Northampton, because I have been worrying about them a bit. But 5 wins in 6 all comps. Good lads. Peterborough and Lincoln 3. Not surprised. Again, they're just absolutely crap. I'm not bothered what this says. I'm actually just not bothered. The amount of people trying to gaslight me into thinking Peterborough or anything is just, you're lost. That's an absolute peach, to be fair, from Adam Reach. And they've run out comfortable winners, despite game looking a bit closer than it probably suggests, really, the scoreline. This is what you get, really, when you've got some experience in your side. I know Peterborough don't have a clue what that is. Given average age of these teams is probably about 15 years difference. But so is scoreline, and so is positions in league. Lincoln are in 3rd, Peterborough in 23rd. I don't know anymore. Peterborough are just hopeless for me. Stockport 1, Reading 1. Nice finish from Jack Marriott. Nice finish. That was scrappy as all, wasn't it? But he started really well, Stockport striker. But Reading, I'll tell you what, they just keep chipping away, man. I think these are crap, and they keep getting points. Loads of expected goals for Stockport, but they just didn't take the chances properly. And I do think every team needs someone like a Jack Marriott. I really do. I think everybody's got to have some experienced old man. Well, no, it's not even an old man, Marriott, really. He's been about forever, but he's not exactly an old boy. 3 and 4 games since he's come from Wrexham. Mate, he's only 31 and all. He's such a good player, Marriott is. But I feel like I've found myself saying the same thing quite often about Stockport as well. Another one of the better sides that you'd expect more from that's not performed that well so far. They're on 16 points, so it's not exactly the worst thing ever after 10 games. But it's a side that you expect more from, and they're just not showing a great deal at the minute. Really impressive draw for Reading to go to a side like Stockport and get something. But I just do expect more from Stockport. And then Wigan 0, Cardiff 2. Again, a really impressive win, because I don't think that Wigan had actually lost a league game so far at home. We're starting here. Win. All these wins. They lost in Cup to Salford, but it's Mickey Mouse, so who cares? And then in Cup to Wickham. Again, not that asked. It is 3 losses in 4 in all comps at home for Wigan. But in league, they've been really good there. And Cardiff have just been better side. More expected goals by an absolute mile. All ball, all shots, all chances. It's just... Cardiff are a good side. They are. They're one of the only teams so far that we're expected to be up there that's performances are matching the points tally. They're on 20 after 9 games, which is really impressive. It's best by a mile performance-wise out of the teams that you expect to be up there. It took that well and all. I know we're a penalty. I think that's slightly harsh, getting a red card at 95th minute when you've already lost a game and you're getting a penalty as well. I think that is slightly harsh, but it is probably a right decision. But that is the difference and why I don't think Wigan will be anywhere near it, really. I just think there's so many sides that are better than them. And in the games that matter, they've just not performed at the minute. You're looking at, even in the last 5 games, Stockport, Lincoln, they've got 2 points here, but no wins. They've got hammered off Bolton, and they've been hammered, really, against Cardiff at home. That is the difference in the bigger games. I just don't think they've got it. But looking at the full table, Burton is still last. I know they've got games in hand, but they're still last, and they're conceding a lot of goals, not creating a great deal. Worrying times. Peterborough is still 3rd bottom. They're absolutely dog shit, so I'm not surprised either. And Blackpool and Rotherham are still in the bottom 4 with losses again. Plymouth are making decent moves now. They're starting to propel themselves forward a little bit. Bolton, I just expect a lot more. To be fair, Bolton, Luton, Barnsley, Stockport, I expect a lot more from them 4 teams. None of them have really showed anything from a consistency point of view or performance, or a combination of both, said, because Bolton's performances are right up there, but they're just not putting Bolton back in net enough, really, for the amount of chances that they're creating. But a top 6 that consists of, obviously Cardiff and Huddersfield, but Wimbledon, Lincoln, Stevenage and Bradford still in there, and that top 3 has been there for a couple games now. Bradford, Stevenage and Lincoln leading the pack. Really impressive start for smaller lads that nobody really get time of day to at start of the season. But that's that. Absolute pleasure. Love you all. Thank you very much for watching as always. Make sure you like, subscribe if you do enjoy it. Helps me out quite a lot. Love you all. See you in a bit. Kiss.
I say I'm a man, yes, I'm a mucker. I think of me saying as a right good looker. I say up that. Show us bit it.